I'm sorry that the clock has been moving on while we've been taking all these photos, and I'm rather late for my next function, so I'm not going to give you my prepared speech. But very simply, our vision for education in this country is what I will spend a couple of minutes on before I leave. As you know, we've gone through an amazing journey in these last 65 years. Essentially, when the British left, they left us with just 17% literacy. We had about 30 universities, 700 colleges in the entire country, 4 lakh students at that time. Today, we've gone to 74% literacy. We have 670 universities, we have 35,000 colleges, and about 20 million students. So the transformation has been dramatic. At the same time, we cannot be complacent about it, because 74% still means that a quarter of all Indians do not know how to read and write. And some in those 74% may not be very good at it either. So the challenge is a very serious one. It starts at the bottom of the pyramid, at the lowest levels, and goes all the way through to the top, to the space where you are all trying to work in the field of technical education. Let me stress that at the bottom levels we've not done too badly. Primary education enrollments have gone up so dramatically that the latest figures for the gross enrollment ratio at the primary level are 104%. So we've actually enrolled more kids than we thought existed at that age group. But when you get to class 8, that drops to 69%. When you get to class 11 and 12, it drops to 39%. And by the time we're at university level, it is right down to just 18% against the global GER for higher education of 29%. So we are behind the rest of the world. And if you look at the other yardsticks, if you look, for example, at the fact that most of the widely accepted international rankings for education for universities, there is no Indian university in the top 200, in the Times Higher Education ranking, in the QS ranking, and so on. So we have a long way to go. Now there is a particular reason for that, which is that most of our institutions have tended to be teaching institutions, whereas in fact, these rankings give a very heavy weightage for research. So we are now encouraging our institutions of higher education to do more research. We are putting in research centers and innovation centers into our IITs and into the other institutions of higher education, and we will encourage you all to do the same. Research is crucial. It is ultimately what validates the higher technical institutions' worth, not only in the eyes of the international ranking people, but in the eyes of students and experts in our own country as well. Now, I should stress 2 more things. The first is very simply that this is now a young people's country. 540 million Indians are under the age of 25. If you look at the next generation coming up to, from those between the ages of 10 and 19, 225 million. So they are the ones who will be coming into college if we can train them and educate them properly in the school system to be ready for a higher level of education. Do we have enough places for them? Clearly not. Do we have sufficient quality? This is the big debate. I've often spoken in terms of Indian education in terms of 4 other E's apart from the E of education. The first is the E of expansion, which I've described to you, going from that modest level of 1947 to the levels of today. That expansion was necessary, and it was accompanied by a second E, which is that of equity, including those who have been left out, including those who were denied an education in the earlier days because of their birth, their caste, their religion, their region, their gender. Equity includes very great emphasis on gender education, because when the British left us with 17% literacy, there was a gender divide there too. Only 8% of Indian women were literate in 1947. So today, when we speak of 74%, there is still a gender divide. It's 82% men and 65% women. So the women have to be given an opportunity to catch up, because there is nothing more transformational in any society than educating girls. If you educate a boy, that's very good, you educate a person. But if you educate a girl, you educate a family, you transform a community, you change society. So that's very important, and we're trying to do everything we can to get more girls into school and keep them there. Dropout rates of girls by class 8 are very high. Sometimes it can be something as simple as a lack of a toilet in the school. Girls after a particular age need the facility to be able to change. If there is no such thing in the school, no toilet, no usable facility, they will go home and many of them won't come back. So dropout rates can be affected if we can adjust to something like the sanitation system. In addition to that, we do need, of course, to put more resources into protecting girls from underprivileged communities, educationally backward districts, giving them opportunities, which we're doing through programs like the Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya and so on. I'm trying to be brief, so I won't expand on it too much. However, in focusing on these two E's of expansion and equity, I fear we have left out the third E of excellence. Excellence is very important. Quality is what has been lacking, as I mentioned, by international yardsticks and by national yardsticks. And in the 12th five-year plan, our emphasis is much more on quality. We want to see excellence in our system, because that's the only way we can compete with the world. And finally, the fourth E, which we've completely neglected so far, is employability. I've spoken to very many CEOs who say that once you get past the IITs and the top institutions, the students they hire from other engineering colleges and technical institutions are frankly not up to the mark. After hiring these students, they have to give them one more year of education to make up for the deficiencies of what these kids have learned in college. I'm not talking about on-the-job training. They're actually doing make-up classes because of the inadequacy of the education our children have received in many engineering and technical institutions. In a FICCI survey recently, 64% of employers were not satisfied with the quality of the young engineers they're recruiting. So when we speak of edupreneurs, we're talking of you coming into the education space and offering a service. But you must link that to the employability of your graduates. You must, as entrepreneurs yourself, tie into the marketplace. Get companies to come and tell you what sort of skills they want in your students. Ensure that your students are well equipped with what the marketplace is demanding before you try and get them into the job market and graduate. Otherwise, that fourth year of employability will not be there, and unemployed engineers are no good to anybody, as you well realize. What we need in our society are people who are qualified and able to take advantage of the opportunities that 21st century India and the world offer. We have a youthful population at a time when the rest of the world is aging, including China. In 20 years, when China's workforce will be 5% smaller and the industrialized world's workforce will be 4% smaller, ours will be 32% larger. But to take advantage of this, to be the labor force for the world, we need good, suitable, efficient, relevant education. And if you as entrepreneurs want to succeed and get more awards in the future, you must do so by offering quality education that respects excellence, that doesn't exclude anybody, that at the same time will provide employability to your graduates. If you can do that, you will succeed. I wish you all the very best. Thank you, and Jai Hind.